Welcome to Drip Music X. Thursday nights, 10 p.m. ish Eastern. I don't want to hear it, DeMarco. Don't tell us before we even start the live stream in the live chat that we're late. Okay, DeMarco, you chill out. We got a special guest tonight. Like some nights we don't have special guests and you don't send to show up. You only show up for the special guests. So I see how it is. Anyway, fresh, real stash, Mike. What is going on?
Just chilling, bro. About to roll up and get into some good conversation. We got Don Foose here tonight. Real Stash's actual friend.
Yeah. I know him. We went to the same school. He was 2 years older than me, and we played baseball in a tournament together at one point briefly. But he is a legend in Cleveland in the punk scene and all over the world, actually. I can't wait to get into it for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting interview. This guy has got a lot going on, but what you changed up your entire background on us. It looks good, man. What is that picture of? Is that Batman?
Yeah, Batman beating, punching the Joker in the face.
That's dope.
Awesome.
I got that at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, man. I like this setup. I like the setup you got here. This is very interesting. We got the bookcase.
I got some comics and my albums and
what's the Batman head up there? Some skulls,
Legos and skulls and
is that a deer at the end? What is that at the end?
It's a ram's head with the horns.
Perfect. Makes sense.
Yep.
Everybody should have a ram's head on their bookshelf. All right. Anyway, we got Don Foose. Let's bring Don Foose in. This guy's got so much going on.
What's up?
Don, how are you, man?
Foose?
Good, man. How you doing? Boy, I gotta close stuff out. Old school. What's happening? How you doing? Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're a personal trainer, international recording artist, an author. You do yoga. You also, it seems like you do some type of martial arts. You got books. You got all kinds of stuff, man.
Yep, I'm busier than jumper cables at a Puerto Rican cookout.
Yeah. How did it all start?
How did what start?
Your musical career.
One night I was at a party with some friends of mine. We were drinking some soda pops, some of the devil's juice, and some band was playing in the driveway, and the dude came up on the microphone and he said, our singer didn't make it out tonight, and if anybody knows the words, this is a Metallica song, and it was just after I think Kill 'Em All came out. Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning, but they did the Four Horsemen. They started playing, and I was buzzed, and I jumped up there and grabbed the mic, started jumping around, and people started all coming up close and singing the words and like getting into it. And man, I just felt that energy of singing in front of people with people and stuff. And blew me away. I was just like stoked. I did the song and I, walked away, and some dude with a wooden leg came limping up to me. He had these tight jean shorts on or whatever, and they were all frayed. So he's like limping and he's got the wooden leg. He's like, bro, what band you in? I said, I'm not in a band. He said, oh, dude, you really need to be in a band. So like I tell that story a lot, it's like I was really inspired by that. So that was kind of what got things started,
And then what was the first band that you ended up playing in?
There was a band called Osiris. I ended up kind of messing around with them. We'd have practice and kind of write songs and play some covers and stuff. And then there was one other band also I did in high school called Roulette. I don't ever claim any of these bands, but everything just kind of, my first, I'd say a real band was the Bagmen. I played in the band Paralyzer before that for a little bit, but that just wasn't really like me, The Bagmen was kind of punk rock, hardcore. And then I had an audition for the Spud Monsters just before that. I didn't get the gig right away. It was down to me and some dude named Stiffo. And then
Not Stiffo, man.
some dude named
Where is
Stiffo. It was
Where is
down to
he
me
now?
and him. And
Where
they
is
didn't take
Stiffo
me.
now? Do we know?
I have no idea. I don't even know what his real name is.
Right.
But
Was
he
he
ended up,
Steve-O's brother by
I
chance?
don't know. But I didn't get the gig right away, so I started this band, the Bagmen, which went on to be Face Value. But we recorded an EP together, and then the Spud Monsters ended up asking me later if I wanted to join. Chris Andrews asked me at a show, still interested in being in the Spuds? I said, yeah. He said, we got a lot of work to do. We start tomorrow. I'm like, all right. So we start practicing every day, 6-7 nights a week. It was, I never knew bands could be like that, you know? I thought you just get together, have fun.
Mm-hmm. It was
yeah.
business.
It was all business. You go through the set, and they had probably 25, 30 songs at the time. You sing every song and no breaks. You just go and do it again, you know, and it was, you know,
It was a good learning experience, no?
it was a great learning experience. It taught me how to be professional, and it taught me how to be like really rigid in what I want to succeed in. And then we'd play shows all the time. And then we started going up in PA, Chicago, Detroit, New York, start bouncing around. Then we just played more and more and more. And the crowd started getting bigger and bigger, and big buzz was going on. And then we played the Undercurrents, which was like, you know, record labels coming out and seeing bands and stuff. And Neil Schroeder from Metal Blade Records came out. He wanted to see us, but he didn't show up the night we were playing. His flight got canceled or whatever. And we had this great show we played. The place was packed, sold out, and they went nuts. It was like one of the best shows ever, and it would have been great, you know, for Metal
Had he
Blade.
been there?
Yeah. So he got to town the next day and asked if we could if he could come to our rehearsal space and see us practice. And I was like, oh, what a buzzkill, you know, but he saw us and liked us, put us on the Metal Massacre 11 compilation album. Metal Massacre used to put out all the great comps, you know, with Metallica on there and Exodus and Voivod and all the big bands, you know.
Yep.
So that was a real honor. But then he ended up getting fired, so we didn't sign with Metal Blade. So we ended up signing with Massacre Records. We had a 3-album deal over in Germany.
Is there a song as the Spud Monsters that you would want us to listen to?
Isolation's a good one, or 100% is a good one. Anything off of our second to last album. We did a reunion album in 2010, I believe it was. But this one came out in 1998 or 97 on Century Media Records. Same labels the Cro-Mags were on and Stuck Mojo. That was the one that, I love that, you know. So anyway, Isolation's a good song, and 100%'s another one.
You got that
What's
fresh
that?
or no? I'm seeing if fresh can pull it up.
Oh,
Fresh
Yeah,
and muted.
100%. Probably. That's
we're not allowed to play that, bro.
Oh, really? They don't let you?
Yeah, no, we will get banned.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
The reason we can play like the Drip Artists is because they don't have copyright.
Well, they probably do have copyright. All of the YouTube live streams have been striked, but that's all right. Anyway,
Well, that's probably why.
Everyone gets paid for our music except for us.
Right, exactly.
Which brings me to the question about the record deal. That was your only record deal you took, or did you take more after that?
Well, we did 3-album deal with Massacre.
Right.
We did all 3 albums on that label. It was great. And they even did it was a great label, period. You know, our first European tour, we opened for Biohazard, and they were like really huge at the time. You know, they came out with the Urban Discipline album, played in front of like 2,000 people every single night. It was insane, dude. It was just like every night, you know, just going
Crazy,
to the club.
2,000 people going nuts.
Yeah, you pull up to the club and there's people attacking you. Oh, sign this, sign my girlfriend's chest.
Yeah.
You know, sign our tickets. Please take pictures. And back then, we didn't have cell phones or anything, but everyone's like taking them with those little cardboard,
Portable
disposable
cameras, disposable cameras.
Yeah, and then we're doing record signings in stores. And then after we get off stage, people are like hounding, oh, come on, oh, can I have your shirt? Can I have your pants? Can I have your shoes? It's pretty
You
crazy.
cannot have my dirty socks, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my jack.
Yep. Yeah. So there's like there's a stigma, and it's a real thing as well with the music industry and record labels, and nowadays with every tool we have out here, it's pretty bad. People do not want to take record deals, but there's still record labels out there for the most part. Well, I don't know. You're in a different music genre and stuff than I'm in, and so things are kind of different in every genre, but the industry is pretty much the same. But it's never been a great idea, is what the narrative that continues to go. But it sounds like this record label, Massacre Records, did a great job and did their job.
Yeah, we did the tour with Biohazard. We had such great positive feedback. I mean, we're at this girl's house one night after the show. She had a big flat, and she's like, oh, I want your band to come stay at our place. So there's all these hot chicks bouncing around this flat, and there's, and then MTV comes on and our video's on there, and we're like, what the hell? I'm looking around these hot girls jumping around, bouncing around the house, and we're like, MTV's on with us, and it's showing our tour dates on there. And I remember looking at Scott, our guitarist. I said, bro, we made it, man. This is it. Doesn't get any better than that. But,
no.
But, like we did that tour, and then we were offered the Life of Agony and Propane tour. So that was the first time Life of Agony or Propane ever toured Europe. So we were all touring all hotter than hell at that time, and it went really great. And then that tour was over, and we were asked to come over and play with MOD, which is Billy Milano's band from SOD. That was huge. And then we started headlining.
That was in the States?
No, everything was in Europe.
Everything was in Europe?
Then we came back home in the States, and we did went up in Canada doing a Canadian like hockey arena tour with DRI and Acid Bath, and who's the other band, Oblivion, and then there was another band, Demolition Hammer from New York. So it was a great tour. So we did that, and then we did a headline tour in America. We were just touring nonstop at that time.
What was your favorite country to be in, the party in, and everything?
I'm not a partier, so it's like whenever I'm done, I'm like the boring guy that makes.
Man, you were at a house with a bunch of girls bouncing around. I don't want to hear that. Don't you lie now.
I'm no saint, and at the time I was single, so everything was legit, and I had some fun. But the thing was, like when we were on tour, it was a business, so it's like I take care of my voice. Yeah, I didn't, I got my rest, kept my voice good, drank my tea, and everybody's in the back, playing poker and drinking and farting, doing what guys do, and then I'm getting rest, taking care of business. But when the tour bus parks, I get out with a camera and a few bottles of water, and I go and I see the town, and I like to go and see the world, go into the old churches, and and after you meet people every time you tour over there, it's like you go and spend time with your friends then, and spend the night at your friends all over the world, and it's really cool,
That's awesome to have friends all over the world that you can pop in and visit. That's awesome.
Yeah, and at that time, there was no email, there was no,
social media or anything.
Nothing, yeah. So like people would come up and give you their snail mail, and we would be pen pals. So I'd be getting mail every day from people, and I'd write everybody back without fail. And I just, it was really cool. You develop these really solid friendships, which are still relevant today. And, you just can't beat it.
What happened with the Spud Monsters? What happened? Why did that die?
Well, 1998, right? It was after the Moment of Truth album came out. That's the one with the Isolation on there and 100% and Forever Real. It's a great album, man. But I don't know, we were touring, we were headlining over in Europe. The promoters started to kind of take advantage of us. We had a band on tour with us that got in a lot of trouble. They fell off the bill. So every club we would play, they're like, oh, the band was called Kickback. Oh, Kickback's not on the bill anymore, so we're going to cut your guarantees down. Although the shows were still sold out, people knew they weren't playing, but, I don't know. We were just kind of sick of it. We needed a break because we had been touring and stuff probably like 6 years straight. So we were okay. So Scott and Eric went to San Francisco and tried out for Machine Head, and they had really good auditions, but they ended up going with that Logan guy and whoever plays drums for them now. And then Eric, the guitar player and drummer, they ended up moving to New York and playing with Propane. And then Scott ended up in the Cro-Mags for a little while, and he ended up jamming with Will Shepler from Madball and Agnostic Front, and then also with Alan Roberts from Life of Agony. So we all went separate ways, and did our own thing. And then our guitarist Eric, who ended up being in Propane, ended up moving to Belgium. So the band just like went everywhere, disbanded.
Right.
Yeah.
It had lived its life, and everybody was ready to move on.
Yeah, and then I started my band, Run Devil Run. We signed with Ice Cream Records out of Belgium. That was a really great label. And we did a lot too. We got to play at Dynamo Open Air Festival over in Holland with Metallica and SOD and all these big bands. It was really cool. And then we did 2 albums on Ice Cream, and then we were with Victory Records in America. So that was really cool. So everybody went separate ways. Spud Monsters were done. 2010 rolls around. We're like, hey, man, let's do a reunion album. We had all these offers to play big festivals over, in Hellfest in France, Doorfest in Belgium. We did also, what's that other one in Belgium? Grass Pop Metal Meeting. That was a good one. So we were doing a lot of big festivals and stuff. And then we just said, hey, let's do another album. And we just threw an album together, and good songs, good production. Had a great reception from, people throughout the world. It was good.
Community liked it. There was no tour or anything with it, though, was there?
Well, we did some European tour.
Oh, okay.
Headlining tour, and then we did festivals. But with Scott living in New York and, the band just kind of, and Eric living in Belgium, it was just impossible for us to keep.
Right. It was fun to put the album together, and then some festival tours here and there. It was fun to play, but anything on a normal deal was not going to happen.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
And that was the end of Run Devil Run.
Yeah, Run Devil Run. We did 2 albums, and it was great. A wonderful experience. It was awesome. And then, let's see, that was 2003. And then my wife and I, at the time, we adopted our son, and I wanted to be more
hands-on
at home and hands-on with my son, and got to coach his baseball, basketball, and football teams. And, I was the all-time quarterback whenever him and his friends would play and stuff, so I wanted to do that. And then, as he grew up, I started getting back into the music. I started my own solo band called Foose and started touring around Europe again, and did a couple.
Was it easier to tour Europe than the States?
Yeah, just because that's where I have more of a name for myself over there. But it was funny, going from tour buses back to playing in my solo band, playing smaller clubs, touring in a van, some shitty hotels, or even staying in the clubs where it just smells like beer and piss and
just sleep there overnight, and then you're on
they have these
again.
Club. It's their, because in our contract, you have to provide a place for the band to to stay. And usually they get to a hotel. It's usually somewhat clean, but every once in a while, you know, you have some heroin addicts living in a club basement with you, and you're like, what the hell did we get into? That's punk rock, though. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. Yeah, be optimistic.
So music was first, and then you spanned out to all these different businesses as well now.
Yeah.
What would you, you know, you can talk about all that, but what would you recommend to musicians who are starting out their music careers or maybe been in the music industry for 10 years trying to make it, but they're not capitalizing on other industries of business? Like you're hitting, I'm seeing at least like 10 different industries across everything you're doing, cooking, and then everything you're doing can all be on YouTube and all that, and different show form and etc.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is, like, I'm not into social media at all. I'm on Facebook. People follow me or whatever, and I'm on Instagram. And once in a great while, it's been forever since I posted anything, but it's like, it's just hard for me to do that stuff because I'm not driven to take selfies and talk about myself. You know, it's like if I'm promoting a book I wrote or an album my band, you know, it's a means to promote, you know. So it's like, I don't know, I just you know, social media's, that sucks. But you know, I see
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I see why it's beneficial for people, but I don't know, man. It's just, there's no good that happens on social media. You know, it's, everything's filtered and it's not real. You know, all these people like, hey, look at my life. It's great. I'm awesome. You know, follow me. For what? You know?
Yeah.
So we have a song, you know, like, oh, so I ended up doing this side project in France, in Lyon, France. And the band's called One Life All In. I still do that band. And it's members of Seekers of the Truth. And then Kevin Foley was playing drums with us too. He was in a lot of really big bands like Benighted. He was in Sepultura for a while. He was in Abbott. Everybody uses him in their band, but it was really cool. You know, we did this couple of EPs, and then we did a full length just recently, a couple of years ago, and some of my favorite stuff I've ever done. So if you were going to hear a song from that, you know, we have One Life All In. The song is called Letter of Forgiveness. That's like one of my favorite songs and albums ever.
Can we play that or no?
Yeah, man, please do. That's awesome. Yeah.
Fresh. I'm pretty sure you can play it if they say that you can play it. He's the person who is on the song.
Yeah, we put those albums out ourselves, so nobody has any rights but us.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like you do even your businesses outside the music industry has all been grassroots more so than utilizing social media as much.
I always wanted to write a book, you know, and you know, I coach people on how to juice fast. I coach them how to eat properly, you know, and I'm into raw vegan food. So, you know, I would coach people on juice fasting. And at the end of the fast, they would say, how do I eat after I'm done fasting? And then I'd write a bunch of stuff down. And then my buddy inspired me and he said, hey, just write a book. And then after people are done fasting, then, you know, they'll read from the book. And so, yeah, I did that in 2014. I wrote my first book called Raw Life. It's a book on raw vegan foods, how to juice fast. It's about how to make elixirs to combat illness, and you know, about superfoods too. So then, you know, I did that, and then I wrote a motivational book called Motivate Me. Thought I had some here, but I don't know, somewhere around here. But they're all on my website, fooseforlife.com.
If you will indulge me, Foose, I am a very big meat eater. I have been my whole entire life.
Right.
I would like you to pitch me and motivate me to turn vegan. Because I've actually never had this conversation with anybody, and this would be interesting, I think.
You know what convinced me? The singer of the Cro-Mags, John Joseph, he told me, he said, we have flat teeth. They're flat all the way across. You have these two that are somewhat canine, but not really. You can't really tear flesh with them, but you can kind of bite into it a little bit. But our teeth are meant for vegetation. Any animal that has flat teeth, scientifically looking at them, whether, it's a rabbit or a horse or a cow. They all eat vegetation. But animals that have all fangs, they eat meat by nature, and they have short intestinal tracts. So that meat goes in, they shit it right out. So, and, the fangs dictate what you're supposed to eat. The flat teeth dictate, these are more for masticating. The other ones are for tearing flesh. So scientifically, your body's meant to eat like that. And then the thing that really convinced me was when John Joseph told me, he said, is it worth 10 minutes of sense gratification to take a mother cow away from her calves just to slit her throat just for 10 minutes of pleasure? And emphatically, I was like, no. I mean, I couldn't, I can't justify that. To bring pain onto another living entity just to satisfy my tongue, it's, and I never thought of it like that. I always thought vegans were like, goofy and, people,
Bunch of hippies.
even the PETA people drive me nuts. They're goofy. They're just goofy, but it's like when you get down to the grassroots of it all, it's like, man, it's just not a nice thing to do. Bottom line, you can't deny it.
Why do you think that your theory with the teeth makes perfect sense? Even back to the dinosaurs, all the dinosaurs, the teeth that we found, they're flat. They usually ate vegetative, and they had the canines and all that. They were, T-Rex was definitely a meat eater. It didn't eat a tree for no reason. It was eating other dinosaurs.
Right.
But why do you think it is culturally across the world and this new? Well, I mean, it's all throughout history. Why do you think it's been pushed that we should eat meat, a food pyramid, all these different things like that?
Because
we're not meant to eat.
They've made it so easily available. It used to be that it was a delicacy to eat meat. Only very wealthy people could eat meat, and it would be once in a great while. It wasn't every day, and it wasn't McDonald's on every corner and everything. So that's how you get the word deli, because it was a delicacy. It was something that was very rare. And like I said, and back then they had priests that would do ahimsa killings, which were merciful killings, where it was a really old animal that was going to die shortly anyway. And it was, all these prayers were done, as a sacrifice to help them to get another body. So it was
the whole ceremony around them.
Big time. But now there's slaughterhouses on every, any fast food restaurants basically connected to a slaughterhouse. So it's like, it's just pump them in and get them out, and that's the same thing with like these sugar sodas that are coming out, like Coca-Cola used to be, from the cocoa plant, and it was meant, to calm the nerves of the body and stuff. And then Dr. Pepper was 23 herbs and spices, and it was meant, as a curative, not as a soda pop, like for pleasure.
Full of sugar.
To heal. Ginger ale, also ginger fixed ailments. That's why it's called ginger ale, ailments of the body. So it's like
Mountain Dew came from the Appalachian Mountains, made like similar to moonshine. Seriously, it did.
I don't doubt it. But the funny thing about all this
used
is,
as a pain reliever.
Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." But whenever money's involved, people are like, fuck that, let's just put high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of drugs approved by the FDA through lobbyists that gets people addicted. And it's all about money. It's not about curing people and helping people. If you want real food, it comes from the earth, and it's living. Life comes from life. So when you take in those living organisms, you feed on your red blood cells and you get life. But, you plant an apple seed in the ground, an apple tree is going to grow. If you plant like dead cereal in the ground, mold's going to grow. That's it, So it's like, you want good health, eat the things your body craves and actually thrives on.
I think a cereal stalk will grow. You better reach the giant in the sky. It'll be a Fruit Loops
old
stalk.
Captain Crunch growing on
the Toucan Sam giant at the top of that.
Right. Funny stuff.
So this. I'm sure there's tons of debate around this whole topic because you say like you're comparing. You don't want to eat the living animals,
Yeah.
but the plants are also living.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's, you know, a cognitive difference between a plant and an animal. You know, if you cut an animal's throat, it'll cry, and the mother of that animal will cry horrendously too. They have feelings, they have emotions. You know, like when you take a baby calf away from their mother, they both whimper. I mean, you know, plant life
It's sad.
shows some resistance, but it's not like, you know, it doesn't have a developed consciousness, you know.
I know I cry when I see any marijuana plants being cut down too early.
Right. Yes. I love it.
Or being burned by the police.
Yeah, God, that's a nightmare unless you're there live.
Right.
But you mentioned a lot with the money and the industries and how they've corrupted food, and
Yeah.
it seems like a lot's coming out too with the vegetables and things like that, having waxes and pesticides on them. So how do you get around that? You just farm fresh.
Well, you
best
buy
way.
organic to as far as you can, you know, eat living foods, just avoid processed too much, kind of know where your sources are, try to, you know, get locally grown produce, help, you know, the farmers and the local dealers. So I used to always go down to the West Side Market and get really good deals, but you know, sometimes I just have to stroll on down to Heinen's or the, you know, Whole Foods and do my shopping. But they have great stuff there. Just have to educate yourself on what's the best for you, you know.
Yeah,
And
for
common
sure.
sense goes a long way, you know.
Now,
Yep.
scientifically, we do need protein. So, what is the plant alternative you suggest the most to replace protein? Like, what is the best plant?
Well, scientifically, we don't need protein. What we need are
We
amino
don't.
acids. So when
Okay, gotcha.
protein goes into your body, it goes in as a whole. So you need to secrete the hydrochloric acids to break it down into an amino acid so your body can use it. So that's what the body really needs. So, you know, spinach is 29% protein actually, but you have to take it with maybe a little bit of pineapple. Pineapple has bromelain, which is a digestive enzyme that will break down those proteins and usable for the body. You know, there's beans of sorts that, you know, you can get. Garbanzo beans are a decent source of protein, you know. So it's good to take the protein, but you got to make sure you don't have undigested proteins in your body, you know, like you have to digest them some way. So I think pineapple with bromelain or digestive enzymes to help, or if you eat foods that will break them down initially, juicing is a great way, you know, to break down your stuff. It's living food. Goes right in your
Gotcha.
blood. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mike Fresh, are you guys sold? You gonna give up bacon?
You gotta give up that soda is what you gotta give up.
Well,
he's got
the
some.
sugar in every can of soda. Is that something?
Yeah, drink his little cup. So proud of
He's
himself.
doing the old diabetes chug, are you?
The diabetes chug.
Diabetes.
Hey, I
I
love that,
stopped-
dude. I'll tell you what. There's nothing like a ice cold Coca-Cola. It tastes great, but I mean,
No,
I
it
know too
doesn't.
much about it, and I know
No.
people that I love in my life that are addicted to it. But
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper is if I have soda, it'll be Dr. Pepper, but I haven't had a soda since like 2007. I think I stopped.
yeah,
it's
that's
definitely
cool.
not good for you.
Nah.
No,
But you know what, man? Do everything in moderation. I'm not fanatical about anything, not even about being vegan or anything. You know, I hate fanatical people. I don't hate them, but it just rubs me the wrong way. I think, you know, if you want people to listen to the way you feel, you do it by example. They say you can lead somebody further than you can push them. So if you lead by good example, you live a good, healthy life, you're kind to people, people are going to want to be more like that themselves and be like, hey, what's making this person happy? What's making this person, you know, healthy and hopeful, you know? So be a good example, you know?
100%.
Vibrate on those positive frequencies.
Right on.
So go ahead, Stash, if you got something, man. I was just fascinated by the
No, go ahead.
whole
Go
vegan
ahead.
thing. Have you done? You're a musician first, always. Have you done in secret a song about this, like being vegan or trying to convince people through music, or maybe thought about doing? You're like, man, I don't even know if people would listen to that because so you always, as a musician, you want to test boundaries, and sometimes we like to get weird.
Well, you know what? I make my feelings known into the songs. You know, I have my one-liners here and there, but we're not like some straight edge band. We're not like some vegan band. You know, it's like everybody in the bands that I play in, they have their own lives, they have their own beliefs in this.
For
You
sure.
know,
That's something in your life, and that's not something you're pushing out unless people come to you
Right.
for it.
Yeah, you know, it's like in this one song, One Family on the last Blood Monsters album, I say, you pet that dog, he's man's best friend, but that old cow you're slaughtering, you know, because people love their dog, but they'll cut the cow's throat to eat a
I don't
burger.
know. Some people out there eating the cats and dogs though. So
Yeah, right. Little cat just came up on my window today. I was trying to pet it and took off.
Oh man, cats are crazy.
Yeah. Cats are
More of a
weird.
dog guy. You got cat? Do you have any pets? Do you have any dogs or cats or iguanas?
I had a French bulldog, but that was a while back.
Fresh.
Frenchie.
Where's your
He's
French
got-
bulldog?
He's asleep on the couch.
Wake his ass up.
No
Wake
worries,
that monster up.
Yeah, I got a
I've-
dog and a cat.
Nice. I love
got a
that.
friend with-
Man, they're great.
I got a friend with a pet cow. He's got a dog. He's got a cow, and he says that cow is just as good as the dog is.
Yeah, man. I went over to India back in '02. People have cows in their house. Some of them do. You know, the cow just crashes out on the floor. They have a wooden floor. Unbelievable.
Just like the dog.
Yeah, just hanging out, dripping milk.
Hey, it's a good entendre. This is Drip Music X, where you can learn about Foose, all his music, other musicians, and all types of other stuff, including the cows dripping their milk on the wooden floors.
Drip music.
Drip, drip, drip.
Oh, no.
Drip the nips.
Drip the nips. If we continue this, Fresh is going to have a real good idea for some type of something here soon.
Oh, I'm already gonna use this as the first like radio drop.
Oh no.
You're listening to Drip Music X, and then I'm gonna use like
Drip the
what
nips.
John said, and then you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's fire. That's incredible. Well,
And go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was saying, and interestingly, you became a Hare Krishna at some point, yes?
Yeah. Back in '95, we went on tour with the Cro-Mags. And there's these guys tattooed head to toe, and they're all into martial arts, and they're on stage, and you'd think they were just killers, you know, and they're all very peaceful, kind, thoughtful people, you know, and the John Joseph, the singer of the Cro-Mags, hands me this book called The Science of Self-Realization. And in a thick New York accent, he's like, yo, enlighten yourself. I'm like, oh, okay, what's that? And I'm reading it. And like I said, you know, I was just agreeing with so much of the stuff that he was saying in the book, you know, so it was, couldn't help but to make some changes in my life. I stopped taking intoxication, started treating my body as a temple, stopped eating meat, fish, eggs, all that stuff, you know, and purified my consciousness, you know, and I just made some changes, you know, and he's, you know, John would always tell me, you know, don't worry about people thinking you're weird or whatever, you know. He's like, most of those people are the most confused in the first place. And I came to realize that. So now, you know, whatever I do in my life, I just do it. You know, you can't live somebody else's life, you know. So I don't find fault with the way people live their lives. And I'm not sorry about how I live my life either, you know, because we're all going to die someday. No one's going to remember us. You know, who cares?
Nope.
But you know,
Good enough.
being in Krishna consciousness, being a Hare Krishna, is like such an amazing awakening for me. You know, reading about the philosophy, about loving every living entity, thinking on a higher platform, and also like, you know, it's simple living, higher thinking. You know, being done with materialistic stuff. You know, it's not to say I don't have nice things, but not living chasing after nice things as my life and soul. You know what I mean?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah. Yeah. Let
Yeah.
the Joneses,
Yeah, they can have it.
they can have
I've got
it.
I've let that go as well.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And I'm much happier.
There you
Right.
go.
Happiness comes from simplicity. It really does.
Yep.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I make my bed. You know, whenever you keep a clean house, make your bed, get a good cold shower in the morning, awakens the senses, do a nice light workout, you know, read a little bit of philosophy, something positive, motivational that gets you going, man. Start your day on a great note. And then when you leave the house, you have your armor on. You meet negative people. You know, I'm driving and some dude's like, hey, asshole, you cut me off. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? You know, I'm just not get
Sorry. Yeah.
not sucked into the road rage or whatever, you know.
What do you think about AI? With your takes on the world and everything, this has got to be. I mean, for
Yeah.
everybody who's looked into it at all, and everybody who's not and is scared of it and stuff, like it's changing the world.
I think it's sad actually because you can write songs now without even trying to let AI do it. And it's like you can't even tell if people have the talent to do it themselves anymore, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't know. You hear something that sounds really perfect and you're like, did they do that through some sort of AI or, you know, is this all auto tune or what? You know? I try to make it a point when I'm in the studio that I don't do a bunch of punch-ins and a bunch, you know, I try to keep it as real as possible, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do not like to punch in on a verse or anything. I like to do the whole thing out. It just has a better feel to it.
Yeah, it's human.
It's more natural. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But,
so what got you from music to all these other businesses? The book, I mean, everything. You got so much stuff going on.
yeah, I know, man.
How do you find the time?
What's that?
I said, how do you find the time? You make your bed in the morning and everything.
I work on a schedule. You know, I always make a schedule daily. And if I waste time, if I sit around farting around on my phone, if I'm farting around watching TV, then I'm only just setting myself back. So that's a reason. There's a reason why I wrote 14 albums. I've written 2 books. I've toured throughout 23 countries. I've gone surfing in Costa Rica. You know, it's like I just stay busy. I always chase a bucket list, you know, and that's what life's all about. Don't stop until, you know, you can't move anymore, you know. I want to experience life to its fullest, you know.
Yeah.
So even I feel like I'm out of lyrics, you know. I feel like me continuing to write albums from here on out might be a little redundant. So I am finding other things to do, you know. But the last album we just did, The One Life All In, is one of my favorite I've ever done. But,
Fresh, you had a long time to get that song ready. Is that song ready?
No. What's the name of it? I have
One Life All In, and then the song is called Letter of Forgiveness.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have One Life All In all up here. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
I think if you share your screen and stream that and not just play the song, then it's more like it's like a reaction type thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go.
Dave Quiggle did the artwork for that.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's dope artwork. I like that.
chains that try to make me into someone who I just don't even know. Protect me as I hold on to your faith in the face of adversity. I know you'll never forsake me. Forgive me. It kills me every single day. I'll try to be for real, won't live a lie. From every storm I know I'll rise. To break the chains. I know it seems to hell and back sometimes, and it just destroys my mind. A little faith equates to hope. My guilt each day. The debt has already been paid. It kills me every single day. I'll try to be for real, won't live a lie. From every storm I know I'll rise. To break the chains. I know it seems to hell and back sometimes, and it just destroys my mind. A little faith equates to hope. My guilt each day. The debt has already been paid.
Badass, man.
Thanks. You guys here?
Hell yeah.
I gotta pick up all my stereo equipment. I just threw it all over the floor.
Just kick the cat, huh?
The cat probably deserved it.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah, man, you definitely was that Christian Marco saying what now? You got on the screen fresh? Lapoot? What does that mean?
Lapucci? Is he talking
Yeah,
about
I don't know.
Jim Lapucci?
Probably.
He also said D. Snyder says hello.
I have a
D.
story. in my
Snyder
book
in
about
Belgium.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
said, ask him about the Twisted Sister stolen past 30 years later story.
Oh yeah, that's in my book. Yeah, it's a good story actually. We when I was in high school, I was with my buddy Dave Nemeth, and we went to the Coliseum to go see Twisted Sister and Iron Maiden. It was in the winter time. It was cold. We were drinking, and we get into the Coliseum, and the bathrooms are all loaded with people, and they're all pissing all over the floor, and some guy's blowing chunks right outside the pisser, and I was like grossed out. So I was like, I gotta go piss, but let's go find another one. So we went all the way down this long corridor and found a bathroom, took a leak in there. I went into one of the stalls, closed it. Whenever I closed the stall, on the back of the door was some backstage laminates. It said TS Crew, Stay Hungry Tour. So it was somebody from the road crew left their backstage laminates in the bathroom, and the mag light wrapped on it and stuff. So I was like, whoa, dude, we hit the jackpot. Look at this. So we snuck down, got through security and everything, and went and found Twisted Sister's room. And they're all just in there hanging out, talking. There's pizza boxes everywhere and soda and beer. And D. Snyder's just sitting there thumbing through a magazine. And we're just standing there just trying not to get busted. So we're going to end up getting kicked out. But somebody pops their head in there. Hey, guys, 15 minutes till we go on stage or whatever. And they start clearing people out. And I'm like, oh, man, I want to hang out. So we start walking back. We follow some roadies back over by the side of the stage. And it's time. Twisted Sister's about to go on. We're just standing there, and we follow the band up onto the stage. And we're up there. I'm just this 16, 17-year-old kid,
Blown away.
I'm on
That's
stage
amazing.
at the Coliseum, and Twisted Sister's up there. And then, like, hello, Cleveland, and the big lights and explosion, everything. And I just had hair standing on end. I'm like, whoa, man. It's like that was the night I realized that I wanted to be like a singer, you know. And so, you know, anyway, fast forward to 2012, whatever, Spud Monsters doing a reunion tour. And we were playing a big festival over in Europe. And I think that was, what's that festival called again? Grass Pop Metal Meeting. Twisted Sisters playing that also, and Ozzy Osbourne and Guns N' Roses, all these big bands, big thing. So we're on stage, we're playing in the middle of the day, and place is packed, you know, and I call everybody, and the video's on YouTube. If you pull that up, it said Spud Monsters on Stage Mosh. That's the video. It's called Spud Monsters on Stage Mosh. If you fast forward that to like maybe 2.5, 3 minutes in, I start telling for the last song of the night, I'm like, everybody, our stage is your stage. Get up here. So we go into playing Isolation, that song that's on the Moment of Truth album. I told you that's one song you should hear by us. We start playing, crowd just starts jumping over the barricade. I'm pulling everybody up. We got like 400 people on stage now, and it's all holy hell about to break loose. And we got this bass line intro, and then it just chung, and then it just gets going, and man, we hit the crescendo, and the whole stage is bouncing, people diving off each other's shoulders. Yeah, look at that. That's on stage. Yeah, that's me on stage, diving on people.
That's wild.
It's insane, man. It's just totally nuts. So all the way on the far side, Dee Snider's standing over there watching us. Look at people just getting thrown everywhere. So that's just total insanity. So the song ends, and I look over, and Dee Snider's over there. Fuck yes, man, yes. And I'm like, whoa, it's Dee Snider. Blew my mind. I'm like,
full circle moment.
Yeah, at the full circle moment. I wrote that in my book. I said it was a total full circle moment. So after we're done, I was like, oh, wow, I had to go talk to him. He goes, that was awesome, man. Can't believe someone didn't die out there. That was awesome. So then I said, hey, when I was a kid, we snuck backstage, snuck on stage, standing right about where you were standing watching us. And I was watching you, and now all these years later, you're on the side of the stage watching me. And I was like, and he's like, man, that's a great story. That's cool. And then we got a picture together, and I put that picture in my book. And it was just really cool, man. It was just like, he seemed larger than life too. He's only really 6'1", but he seemed really big with that hair, and he had the platform shoes on. It's just, but you know.
Oh yeah, he definitely seems bigger than 6'1".
Yeah, and I think it's because of the big platform shoes or whatever. But
and the hair.
Yeah, but then seeing him in Belgium and talking to him face to face, he was a normal sized guy, you know. But he was really cool though, man. And I don't know, I like that story a lot. So it was one of my that chapter that's in my book. It's called "I'm with the Band." That's why I showed the backstage pass. Yeah, I'm with the band, you know. And I got back with my buddy. Oh, he's with me, you know.
It's an incredible feeling. They kind of tell us not to pull the audience on stage. It's dangerous and all of that. But I've experienced something similar where we pulled the whole audience on stage at a nightclub and stuff. And that feeling, it's different. It's one thing when you're performing and they're in front of you. But when they're right there with you and they're dancing and singing with you, and you can't even hear yourself in the microphone because all that noise and everything, like, it's an experience that a lot of musicians probably they'd be scared to do, but I would say do it one time at least. You got to experience it.
Yeah, after we were done at that show where you just saw the crazy chaos on stage, we go into the production office after the show with our manager to get paid. And the promoter from the festival, he was furious. Who in the hell do you think you are? Calling all those people on stage. That could have been a huge liability. And he's
Exactly.
speaking in a broken accent. You son of a bitch. Why do you do this? People could have been killed. And he's yelling and yelling. And then all of a sudden there's this peaceful moment of silence. And he goes, but motherfucking people going to talk about this for years. That was amazing. You guys must come back. He said, you guys must come back. And we're like, yeah. It was cool. That was
Yeah, man. Music transcends everything, man. It transcends law and insurance and all that.
we're down with making memories, man. You know,
Yeah.
taking risks to make memories.
Yeah.
I'd rather have memories than
Regret.
Yeah, regret. It's like you never know what you could have done if you don't take that shot. Wayne
Yep.
Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
Yep.
I'm always just going for it.
Shooting. Shoot.
Yeah. Shooting my
Yep.
ball.
Michael Jordan, he took all the
Right.
shots he could. You know, you got to take
Yeah.
the shots.
And
Yep.
he made almost all of them
Yeah.
against the Cavs.
Yeah.
and,
No,
it's,
over Elo's head.
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's taken, for those LeBron lovers out there, it's taken LeBron twice as long in his career to do the same
Yeah.
stats that Jordan has done.
It's true. It's true.
How many finals losses does Jordan have?
None. He
None.
never lost a final.
Yeah.
How about LeBron?
All of them.
Yeah, but you know what's
not
weird
all
about
of them.
that?
That's all.
You know what's weird about that? It's like, oh, who's the GOAT? Who has more rings and stuff? It's like, it really is a team sport. I don't care how good somebody is. If you don't have the right pieces around you. So because Robert Ory, you know who Robert Ory is?
Yep. Yep.
Robert Ory has 7 rings. And nobody really knows who that
Yeah.
He does. He played for the Rockets for a while, played for the Spurs.
Mhm.
I mean, he was all here and there.
was all
but it's
over,
like
yeah.
nobody. He
like
should be the GOAT if that's what you're going on, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's not the only metric.
Right. But, you know.
Yeah, it's just not the same anymore, man. They don't let them play like they did back in the day. It's a foul, everything. you
Oh, I
it's-
know. And
it's
LeBron
not-
doesn't do any favors by.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm-
yeah. He's gonna get a Grammy one day. He's gonna get his Oscar for all
Yeah,
that
he'll get
acting he's been doing. It's fantastic acting.
Funny.
Did you ever do any performances at any arenas or anything that were sports, like sports events? Because we know we got the Super Bowl coming up.
Sporting events? No, not that I can recall. Not at a
Okay.
sporting event. There was this wrestling thing, you know, like a WWE thing. They wanted us to play one time, but it didn't fit into our schedule. That would have been kind of cool. Playing
Yeah, man. I could have got involved. You could have hit somebody with a guitar, hit one of the wrestlers with a guitar. It'd been the whole thing, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fresh, do you have any rapid fire questions before we
Oh, I
come
like
to
that.
the end?
Yeah, I can rapid fire questions.
I like that. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's. I'll ask like I don't know, 5 to 10 questions,
Okay.
and let's give like 1 to 2 sentence answers.
Okay.
If you had to describe your writing style as a weapon or a tool, which weapon or tool would it be and why?
I think it's a tool, and it's a tool because I write metaphorically quite a bit, and you can fit it into your life in any aspect. So you can hear my lyrics, and it could be a love song, but it could also be about a song about determination to reach your goals in your life. I leave it open for somebody to fit according to their life.
Okay, cool.
So that's a tool.
Cool.
like
do
a
you have
left-handed
a-
screwdriver. Go ahead. Sorry.
Perfect. Do you have a go-to ritual or a habit that helps you get into the zone before you record?
Yeah, I chant these Vedic mantras, like in the Hare Krishnas, you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you chant it rapidly, but kind of subdued, and it warms up my voice really nice. And then, I do little vocal warm-ups as well, but that's all part of the process. Yeah.
Cool. Have you ever created a song you loved but chose not to release it? And if so, why?
Wow, that's a really good song. I did write a song. It's called That December Day, and I never released it because it's kind of too personal to explain to people. But it's a really cool song. It's an acoustic song that me and Eddie Temeko wrote together. But it's got real deep meaning, and it's a beautiful song. But I just never released it because I never wanted to explain really what it was about. Real deep stuff.
Cool.
Is there any chance that it might come out at some point, or no, never?
I think maybe, but I
Maybe.
just probably won't talk about it because other people are involved in it, you know. So
Gotcha.
it's like if I'm honest about it, that'd be, you know, yeah, it's deep, real deep.
What's a lesson you've learned about the industry that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
People only like you when you're on top, you know, and like when you have something to offer them, you know, they'll wait on your hand and foot, but once you're on your way back down, they'll stand on your head to get past you.
Yep.
Absolutely. What's one genre or musical style that you'd love to experiment with in the future?
I like doing a lot of acoustic stuff. It's fun. I've been doing a lot of like Misfit songs, but in acoustic, and it's really cool. Like punk rock songs, acoustic versions, and kind of mellow them out, but at the same time having some cool backing vocals that are harmonies. It's fun to play
Cool.
with like that. Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite song that you've ever written, and what does it mean to you?
The video you guys just played of Letter of Forgiveness, it's just really cool, man. It's an open open letter to God or to the spiritual master who guides you in life, just saying, you know, I know I'm not perfect, but thanks for not giving up on me.
Cool. If someone made a movie about your life, what would the theme song be?
Would be the Benny Hill theme song, probably. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know.
Who
I
would
don't
choose? Who would you
Um,
choose to play you?
Wow, who did I choose to play me? Man, that's kind of man. These are really good questions, man. Like thought provoking. So I'd have to get a young Leonardo DiCaprio. He's slick
That's
with
an
the chick.
amazing answer.
Yeah, and he likes the, you know, the beach babes.
He definitely likes the Beach Babes.
Nah, I think he'd be good.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does your approach to making music reflect the way you live your life outside of music?
Well, when I write lyrics, I have a sauna. Let me see. Let me take you down here real quick. There's my living room down here. See, I'm like way
Oh,
down
man.
there. You see, there's a sauna down there, and I'll go
Hell
in the
yeah.
sauna, and then you know, I just plug in and I write lyrics in the sauna, or I'll go out in the woods and just write lyrics out there. I try to really get in tune with something that's deep in my life, and I don't leave people hanging with just complaining about my problems, you know, not like Marilyn Manson or something where they're just bitching about stuff. I try to give a good positive solution in the end of the song, you know. So
Yeah.
positive lyrics, and I want to make an impression and a good impression, you know. Life sucks, but you know, if you're optimistic and you know, work through it, you know, you can be happy in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most surreal experience that you've had as a musician that you never thought would happen?
You know, getting to play these big festivals with like all these, you know, being backstage and there's Ozzy Osbourne walking around right by you, and Sharon Osbourne there, and you know, being on the same bill as like Guns N' Roses and stuff. Like, not my favorite bands or anything, but it's just really cool. Like the best of the best people in the music industry, and that we're even invited to that party. We're backstage eating food with this catering and stuff. It's like, we're not worthy of that. We just write basic songs, and we're just people that do construction, and and like we're simple people, but just to be on the same tour poster as that, or the festival poster with bands like that, it's kind of cool. That's really surreal. Somebody I grew up listening to and really digging. I paid money to go see him when I was a kid, like with the D. Snyder story. That's surreal as it gets, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you look at the legacy of your music, what do you hope that the new generation of kids discovering the Spud Monsters or Run Devil Run for the first time take away from it?
Oh man, I think maybe though I'd like for them to, because you hear all these stories about back in the day. Back in the day, that's when it was real. Like I'd like to think that we were a part of when hardcore music was like real, and it wasn't like like Green Day and all that stuff. That's kind of like second generation punk, and Rancid being like punk, but like real punk, like when the Sex Pistols and the Ramones and the Germs, and like that was like real punk. But like that next wave was kind of, you know you don't want to call them posers, because they were all good bands too. They're great at what they do,
Just
but
more commercial.
yeah. So I'd like if people look back at our stuff and said, yeah, they were one of the originals, or one of the bands that were still had their own ideas at the time,
Absolutely. And then I have one cliche question that won't be so thought provoking and cool. Well, maybe it will, but generally isn't. If you could work with any artist dead or alive, who would it be and why?
If I can work with one artist, dead or alive. Wow. Whew. Man, that's real. You know what? It would be HR, the singer of the Bad Brains. I just went to go see him last Friday. I went to what's that place? The Winchester in Lakewood. You guys been there before?
I haven't.
I have not. I don't think.
I went there. He's the singer of the Bad Brains, and one of my favorite singers of all time. He is my favorite singer of all time, and he's, I think, like 69 years old now, or he's older, and yeah, he's 69 years old, and he was walking around in a cane, and they had to help him on stage, and they put him in a chair, and he sat there and sang reggae music, and I was just like, man, he was the epitome of like stage front man. He was it, and now he's being helped on there and sitting in a chair, and I was like, man, like if I could go back in time when he was in his prime and do some sort of singing with him or something, just anything, it'd be like, he's just, who I really always looked up to. And the funny thing about it is, I wrote about it in my book. We played with the Bad Brains in 1992, I think it was, just before we got signed. And the singer of the Faith No More, the original singer, Chuck Mosley, was singing for the Bad Brains because HR left the band at that time. And Chuck Mosley had drug and alcohol problems. He was singing out of time, singing out of key. He was just wasted. And those guys were like, well, we were going to try to make him our singer, but it's just not working out. And we're going to be auditioning singers. And we had just opened for him in Cleveland. Our crowds in Cleveland were nuts, and our stage presence was all over the place, and bouncing off cabinets, diving into, doing triple indies into the crowd. It was nuts. So the Bad Brains were talking to their manager, and the manager came over and told me, he said, hey, the Bad Brains are going to be looking for a singer coming up. Maybe you want to come out and audition? It's an open audition. A lot of people are coming, but it'd be nice to see you. And I was like, what? Here it is. I would be trying out for the Bad Brains, who had the singer who was my favorite singer of all time, and I was like, wow. So I ended up going to New York City, trying out for the Bad Brains at the Wetlands. And there were a bunch of people auditioning, that day. And they would all go up and sit on a stool, and karaoke style. They'd play music over the speaker, and people would just sing, and most people would sing the reggae stuff because they played reggae stuff, but then they also played hardcore punk. You know, it was like really brutally fast. Everyone's up there just sitting there. And then I get up there and I kick the stool off the stage and it breaks and I just start jumping around and they're like, "Oh, white boy got game. Look at this guy. He's nuts." You know? So it was 3 minutes and 8 seconds of just total chaos, me just going around. I sang the song, what song did I do? Soulcraft. It's 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And the whole time was just going nuts. And after I got off the stage, I took my backpack that I had with me, and I didn't want to make eye contact because they were up on a panel watching the people auditioning. The band was up there with the management. I walked down the hallway, and the manager, Anthony County, came over, and he goes, "Now that's what the Bad Brains are looking for. That's the style of frontman and all this stuff." And the guys came over and talked, and like, "Oh, that's cool." And then they were even talking about, "Hey, if we decided to have you come back for a second audition, you go up to Woodstock, New York, maybe see how you write, maybe, they were," and I don't think they really, they're a black Rastafarian hardcore band that does reggae music too. I didn't think there was a shot in hell that I was going to get the gig. But the way they were talking, it sounded like I might get a second audition, and I was ecstatic. So later that night, me and my friends that went up there for the audition, we went to the Limelight, which was a big church club in Manhattan. And there were some bands playing. And then, what's his name? Roy Mayorga, who plays drums in Ministry now. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I saw your audition today, your audition." And he was running sound for it. He goes, "I was really like your energy. It was really awesome, man." And I'm like, "Oh man, thanks, dude. The Bad Brains were talking to me, man. I might be able to get a second audition." I'm all excited, and he got this morose look on his face. He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I don't want to bum you out, but after you left, a soul brother with dreadlocks, just like HR, this original singer." He said he looked like HR, he sang like HR, and they were real excited about him. And I was like, "Oh." So for just a minute, I was excited that maybe I would get just a dream shot at a second audition at least, But that
Still a
was,
cool story. It's still
Yeah.
a really cool story.
I got one audition.
Yeah.
Yeah, one audition.
Yeah, it sounds like you killed the one audition too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, you know what? I suck. I'm not really good. I'm not a good singer. I think maybe I'm a better frontman than I am a singer, but I suck. And I sucked then, but you know what? That's the one thing about, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I took the shot, and I'm glad that although I may have thrown a brick, I got a shot. And man,
Yep.
I still have the thing. It's in my book. It's the thing you had to fill out at the audition. It says the Bad Brains on it and stuff. "Thank you for coming out. What's your record label affiliation and what's your information?" All this stuff. It was pretty cool. So just even to get that piece of paper as a piece of
Souvenir.
memorial souvenir, it was great. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff I got to do.
Absolutely. And now we push, well, I don't say we push, but we like to educate music artists on utilizing crypto and NFTs and stuff to monetize their talents. And are you familiar with any of that yet? Gotten into crypto at all or anything?
No, I haven't, and I've heard about NFTs and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm kind of retarded in that sense. I'm not so smart.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with the whole sector is the nerds who made all of this new tech made it very hard to understand. They made new lingo and new things that don't even really make a lot of sense as words. But yeah, like it's getting easier. And like we were talking about where record labels have not been the greatest. Maybe some have, but not, it's a bad track record, at least in the American industry, I would say, of a lot of record labels. But it now with Spotify and all these other platforms and YouTube where they're not giving you that much of your earnings, the crypto and NFT ways to release music, even though there's a lot of weird stuff out there besides music and good art and stuff. There's other crazy stuff, but it does allow us a new way to monetize and get our music out to people.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's good and bad about everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, once digital downloads and people being able to get stuff on Napster and all that stuff back in the 90s,
Yep.
our
Yep.
royalty checks just started shriveling up, and they'd come every other year. Then, you know, we used to make some money, you know, we used to get something. And then, you know, in 2010, when I started doing the Foose band, my solo project, I signed on with Fast Break Records out of Philadelphia, and that was really good. You know, we've got regular royalties from them. Anything we sold, we always get checks and stuff, and great label. And they put out the last Spud Monsters reunion album. Yeah, it's just, you know, they were a great label even up to today.
I'm glad that you've shared those experiences with these great labels and stuff, and you know, showing music artists who are new or maybe been struggling for a long time that at least give labels a chance because they can do a lot for you.
Yeah, you know, you have to be a special band though, you know, and record labels are looking for people that are going to hustle for them. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you watch Shark Tank when somebody comes on with one of their ideas. The sharks are just looking for somebody that's hustling, that's already set the foundation and that's really working. And they're like, this guy I can make money off of because he's a hustler. So
Yeah.
they don't want somebody that's like, I got a great idea, and they want you to do everything. They want people to hustle. So I wrote about it in my book back in the day. We were when we were first getting signed, they did the Undercurrents thing, and there was a A&R rep from Atlantic Records doing a seminar on how to present your band. And he was saying, you know, we get demo tapes all the time from people, and they send us really unprofessional stuff, cassettes with handwriting on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But he said, but the bands that we take the time to listen, because back then, you know, they'd get like 800 cassettes or CDs in a week, and looked unprofessional. They tossed it. But then he said, one day I got this manila envelope in the mail, and somebody took the time to paint it and make it look like this fish, and they painted the gills all silver. He goes,
Wow.
beautiful piece of art. And he's like, I hated opening it up, but he opened it up. The band had a real professional press photo in there. They had a professional looking CD and all this stuff, photos, and just everything was perfect. And then he said, and then I popped the tape in, or the CD, and he's like, they sucked. They were terrible. Recording. He said the recording sounded really good, but the singer sang out of key, and it was just not good. But he goes,
Oh no.
he said we put them to the front because they presented themselves very professionally. And that's the way I've always tried to, you know, with my books, the Raw Life book, I printed on 80-pound paper and colored photos on every page and hardbound with the dust jacket and embossing. So it's like,
Sure, but
really
when you're looking for talent though, like this is why like that as a label, that I feel like that strategy is kind of insane, right? Because you're looking for talent so you can package it, right? Like you can help package it, you can do the thing, right? So like
better to just do it yourself nowadays. So unless
I
you're
agree.
really just blowing up so much that you can't control the hype, you only need a label if you can't handle everything at once yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You go out and create your own destiny, create your own fortune.
I
And then
agree.
when you need the help, then you got to hire on, you know.
Yep. Got to scale up. Can't do it all by yourself.
We
Well,
do
you
got
can't-
one last question, right?
Which one? Go ahead, man.
Is it Little Caesars or Papa John's?
Oh,
Or is it
yeah.
Domino's?
No, it's not Little Caesars or Papa John's. It's
Domino's or Little Caesars?
Little Caesars or Domino's.
Yeah, yeah.
that's all gross.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
You just asked them like poison or poison.
I'll eat a vegan pizza, just no cheese, or if they have vegan cheese. I'll tell you what one's really great is Ohio pie. Have you ever had that?
No, I haven't.
You guys are from Cleveland, right?
No,
I am.
Okay. So Ohio pie, man, they have a vegan pizza that people can't even tell it's vegan. It's amazing. So there's some, I eat specialty foods, so I mean I'm
Right.
but I like a New York style pizza, crispy and
Yeah.
no
And-
flop, just like Dave Portnoy always says. That
Yeah. I watching Dave Portnoy
yeah, he's got good taste in pizza though.
for sure.
Frame, do you have a question that you want to ask?
What? I wasn't gonna with the top 5 hip hop artists of all time. No,
I don't think that's
If my
I
phone
was gonna
shuts off,
say-
I know I'm down under 10%. So if it shuts off, just know I appreciate
Oh man,
your support.
we've went over the time, so I appreciate.
No, it's
you,
okay,
Foose,
man. I mean,
joining us.
I'll answer whatever else, but if we disappear, just
Mhm.
hey, bye everyone. What else you got?
Man, you've hit a whole lot of topics. This has been a great interview. So, Stash or Fresh, you got anything
Thanks, you guys.
else?
You guys have great questions, man. The rapid fire stuff was off the chain, and just
Thanks, man.
man, just everything he was asking me, man. That was like really cool.
I'm not just happy you're here. That was great. Thank you.
For
Yeah,
sure.
thanks for having me, man. It was awesome.
Well, I guess the last question that I have is if you could give one piece of advice to a young band starting out, what
Yeah.
would it be?
I would say write music from your heart. Don't let anybody influence you unless it's musically, and just play your heart out. And, don't play for money. Don't play for popularity. Just play for the love of it. And you'll write really good stuff. Because when you start trying to sound like a band or trying to do things because other people are doing it, you try pleasing other people, you lose the soul. The soul comes from your heart. You put your heart into something and it's going to be great no matter what it is. And even if other people don't think it's great, look at that. Please Don't Judas Me by Foose video on the way out. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good song. We did that old Nazareth cover. But yeah, play your heart out, but don't do it for money. Don't do it for popularity. Just do it to,
For the love of it.
heart.
Amazing. Well, thank you again for coming on. It's
Thank
been a
you for-
pleasure.
Yeah, I've been
Absolutely. Anytime, man.
Yeah, appreciate
Sure.
you big time.
And I guess we'll indulge DeMarco and we'll play Please Don't Judas Me.
Yeah, and Jeff Hatrix,
Um,
the singer of Mushroom Head's playing bass in this video. He's not really playing it. He doesn't know how to play. We just needed him for the video, so it's funny looking at him pretending like he's playing.
Well, that's incredible.
It's like,
We'll
where's
check it
That's
out.
amazing.
There he is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, funny stuff.
All right. Well,
You
this
guys
is
very much.
yeah. Thank you. This is Please Don't Judas Me by Foose.
Nice.
Please don't head shrink me. Don't disguise your innuendos. Make no lies to me. Oh, I can see the way the wind blows. Don't deface me, annihilate me. Please don't Judas me. Please don't number me. Don't betray my trust and promise. Please don't anger me. I find it hard to bear no faith.